thank you so much for the quartet for joining us today. Hi everyone, I'm Mia Beltran. I'm one of your co-hosts today, and I am TitanBot's Community Outreach Director.
Hi, my name's Kate. Okay. Hi. Oh, no? Okay, there we go. Hi, my name is Caitlin Jennings. I'm another one of your co-hosts, and I am the FIRST-based Outreach Director for TitanBot.
Hi everyone, my name is Ava Jacinto and I am the Society of Women Engineers Next Chapter Club President at Eastlake High School.
And now I'd like to invite our Eastlake High School principal, Ms. Hustlin, up to the stage. Yay! Yeah, she's.
Thank you. So I've only been at Eastlake High for a few months now, and I can't tell you how impressed I am with all these students, especially TitanBot. They organize this event by themselves and really with the support of the parents and everything. So I'm tremendously proud to be here and just introducing the event. It's very easy to see how they can get recognized. And on behalf of Assemblyman David Alvarez, I want to give them the certificate of recognition for the TitanBot team, and they deserve every bit of it. So here you go.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hustlin.
And I'm actually gonna.
Oh, the mic. There you go.
I am actually going to hire them for event organization because they've done such a tremendous job down to every last detail. Very impressive.
Thank you so much for joining us. So planning and hosting today's event, we have two of the major STEAM clubs on Eastlake High School's campus.
We've been working closely throughout the year and in order to engage all the students that are here today via a variety of educational opportunities while fostering an interest in careers related to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEAM.
The ultimate goal of our conference is to provide students with the opportunity to grow and learn in the STEAM community and also the resources that can use in the future and make long-lasting connections.
First, we have Eastlake High School's robotics team, TitanBot, and FRC, which stands for FIRST Robotics Competition team, run entirely by students. Besides building robots for our annual competitions, we aim to use our resources and create. Oh. Sorry, we're having some mic problems here. So, we aim to use our resources and create an impact in our local and global community by fostering inclusive education, inclusive educational development in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics for kids of all ages.
Furthermore, FIRST allows students to expand their skill set by creating leadership opportunities and teaches them technical and soft skills through our engineering programs, but also the leadership that you see around the event. And this is all developed throughout their high school career, making it a valuable opportunity.
SWENext is an international organization. It stands for the Society of Women Engineers Next. It is basically a program in which it provides a community of females in STEM who aspire to one day work in the STEAM field. So sorry. And we also have many resources from the organization as well.
For our ninth annual Girls Inspiring Real Leadership in STEAM conference, we at TitanBot and SWENext have invited 4 professionals as our selected speakers from diverse backgrounds to talk about our theme, Shattering the Glass.
day and what you do. And your robots are amazing. So I am directing headache center at UCSD. I'm neurologist, so I always been fascinated by brain and how it works, and technology become more and more and we build amazing community of people who treat brain disease, but we also collaborate with all different specialties and scientists and research. And next one. Thank you. And I know US Open going on right now.
Helpful and save so much suffering. And I love this quote about how we all should lift each other up and support each other. We do have a lot of work ahead of us. We can look at next slide. Thank you. Yes, so we are looking for solutions together. In my field, I know that 1 billion people live all around the globe with migraine, and it's genetic neurologic disease, and how do we help them? And I think it's next clip brings us to our data that 1 in houses in the United States affected by headache and migraine disease. And so I spent my life creating less pain for people. That's always been my mission, and I couldn't be doing it alone without science. And next one. Yes, so we work with science, we are doctors, but we all migraine warriors, and we create better treatments for all people together and support each other. Next. So this is one of our devices. So technology really helpful every step of the way. I remember times about maybe 10 years ago, a little bit longer, when we didn't have external devices. We have to reach out to our colleagues in neurosurgery, and person would have neurosurgery, device would be implanted inside some neurostimulator, and I would run across the campus if some lead would move and battery was under the skin. And then science and people who learn about science, they develop devices like this. So this is transmagnetic stimulator. It's FDA cleared for treatment of migraine. People can use it for acute headache or to prevent headache from happening. It works and it's external. So I can say something like this. We can try it, and if you didn't like anything about it, we can put it in the box and send it back. So times are so much better. So same device can be used in repetitive fashion for treatment of mood disorders. For mood disorders, it's big device, and UCSD has special doctor's office to go and do it in the office. Our device is portable and can be done at home. People can travel with that. Many patients telling me stories that it's so much interest to this research and new devices. If they travel with that and put it on conveyor in airport, they have chance to educate everyone about new novel treatments we have. So, and next one, Thank you. This is example of electrical one. So that has electrodes with electrical current, which specifically treats nerve switch on the front of the head, and you can see these little things, it's like indicate where nose is, and electrode goes on the back of the head. And when someone has migraine attack, they can just turn the button and it's very good chance it will go away. So this is treatment for acute migraine attacks, very popular, very recent, developed within last couple of years and approved by, cleared by FDA. And we have more of these, but I just wanted to give everyone little window how science and what we do in our classroom and what we do in our lab and research, it changed life for people, day-to-day life was so much better. And then next, yes. So we really support one another. This is picture with science and mentors and from basically 4 different countries originally coming all together for this American Headache Society and solving problems together in our field of medicine and collaborating with everyone else. And this is so great to see all of you, girls, boys, and parents, and principal and teachers coming together to solve scientific questions. And the next one. So community is so important. On this picture, you can see one of our community events when we come together, and on this picture there is nurse practitioner, and there is pediatric doctor who treats kids. I am adult neurologist and pain psychologist. So we all come together, and this event idea coming that lifestyle really matters for health, and science helpful to prove it. We know that many people have stress-induced headache. We know that exercise can make people so much healthier, and exercising with community together, sleep. We often say, well, if you have to go for very serious exam and pass it well, you definitely cannot say, I will be spending all night study. You should say, I cannot afford not to sleep. I go to sleep on time, so I function well for my exam. Eat on time, hydrate, and so next one. I just wanted to say thank you so much. I'm here for any questions about career in medicine and in science. I love working with college students. I love working with all of you, and I love working with our medical students and fellows, residents, because you are our future, and looking at you, like, future is bright. So thank you so much, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Riggins. That's actually very helpful. I know I'm one of those types of people who don't value my sleep enough, and I just end up staying up very late studying for my tests. And I know that's not good because then I get a headache, and then I'm not in a good mood. Today, right now, we're going to take a small intermission, and we're going to play a Kahoot game. So please, everyone, take out a cell phone or a cellular device, and we're going to present up the code so you guys can connect. At kahoot.it, so you can, maybe if you even have the app, you can just go in there and you will enter the PIN and use your first and last name for the game because the winner will be receiving a prize. So we'll start in a little bit. We're just going to let everyone connect to the game first, and then like in a couple, like 2 minutes, we'll check in.
been logged into the Kahoot. I believe we're going to start the game now. Try your best. They're kind of just Steam-based questions, right?
Yeah, I actually, most of these questions are from our SWENext Instagram account. So if you have Instagram, you can go follow us, but sometimes we post fun trivia on there. So if you've been following us for like a couple of years, you'll know the answers. Please, everyone give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you're ready to go. Or thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay. We're still waiting on some people, so we'll just give it one more minute.
Okay, one more check, make sure everyone's in the game.
Raise your hand if you're having trouble accessing the Kahoot now. So if you're all good, you can just chill. Maybe raise your hand if you're having trouble accessing or getting on, maybe some Wi-Fi issues. We're all, oh, just one more. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so we're ready to start the Kahoot then.
Okay, so first question is, what does G.I.R.L.S stand for at our conference? You probably saw this when you were signing up on the Eventbrite or on any of our social media platforms.
It's not the actual G.I.R.L.S word, it's an acronym. Awesome. Oh, okay, that's tricky. That I get that. Most of the people selected STEM for the theme. That's tricky. On to the next question. Ooh. Actually, one of our speakers today is, that's a little tidbit, but she's one of the original founders of our girls' conference. So she would know. Second question, what does STEAM stand for? Make sure you're reading the answers correctly because they're a little tricky at the end. Science, team, engineering, money, one. Awesome.
Again, got our speaker is still in first place. Next question, please, Noah. True or false, education is a STEAM field? What do you think, Mia?
It's a tricky question.
Yeah.
You don't know what that even stands for.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Economics.
Economics. Yeah.
And it is false. We love our educators, but the E in STEAM stands for engineering. Our other speaker is in first place now, Ms. McFarland. Next question. What is this year's Girls Conference theme? Ooh, we got Passing Down the Torch, Connections for Life, Shatter the Glass Ceiling, and Stepping into Leadership Positions.
I wonder which one it is.
Would you know?
Don't take a peek into those flyers. No.
Shattering the Glass Ceiling, yeah. So our whole conference theme this year is to try and help you guys step into your full potential. We have a ton of great inspirational STEAM speakers, and we just want them to help show you that you can do any STEAM career you're interested in.
Green or blue?
On to the next question.
Who was the second person to walk on the moon? We have Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, Svetlana, sorry, I can't say the rest of it, Savitskaya, and Christina Hamlet. Oh, sorry, my pronouncing.
I don't know that. I don't know this one. I don't know. Ooh, Buzz Aldrin. Ooh, Alexander Nearing. Lee. Okay. How tall is Mount Everest? I don't know this. I actually don't know this. Maybe I should know this. I'm sorry. And the option, I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen that
either. I've seen that before. I haven't. Maybe we should be playing too. Next year we'll be playing. Oh, yeah. Elite 100 meters. Wow. That's tall. Now, I feel like that was kind of a tough one for some of us. We don't usually use like that, I know. Alexander's still in the lead. Awesome job. True or false? Alexander Graham Bell invented the light bulb. I also feel like I should have this. I'm in a circuitry class right now. Oh, no. I'm sorry. False. Do we know who did invent? Does anyone know who invented the light bulb? There we go, Thomas Edison. Emily is back in first. Okay. What is SWENext? They're co-hosting this event.
So the answers we have are to promote women and diversity in STEAM engineering, to feed the fish transition, plan to stop world hunger, and climate change movement.
Which one do you think is it?
As SWENext. Most of you got that right, as I said it earlier. Fun fact, our Vice President, Valerie Cruz, I'm not sure where she is right now, she actually helped us make this conclude.
Next question. Ooh, another speaker on the lead now. I like it. What material is Baymax made out of? That's all for my Disney fans out there. I don't know this. Do they say this in the movie? They do? Okay. Polycarbonate, plexiglass, carbon fiber, and I actually don't know. Like he squished, you know? Like you can squish it, and he like breaks it easily. So something weak. Ooh, carbon fiber. Interesting. I did not know that. Did you guys know that? It's a question for all you aspiring material engineers. Yeah. Ooh. Morgan knew. Wow. Are you Disney fan, Morgan?
Yeah, that's my favorite movie.
Oh, fun fact about our speaker. What does RGB mean? Retriever, chili, blue, red, green, blue, royal green and blue, which is our school, no, not our school color. It's almost our school color. And then rapid gap bridge. Some interesting choices.
Yeah, interesting choices. Bluey is my favorite one. Bluey.
Is that from the show?
I think so.
Yeah, I have a dog toy. That's Bluey. RGB stands for red, green, and blue. I feel like, does that coordinate with some computer science?
Yeah.
Morgan's still in the lead. Oh my goodness. Emily, close behind. Tough competition there.
Next question is, who was the first woman to receive an engineering degree? We have Julia Morgan, Bertha Lamb, Elizabeth Bragg, and Ellen Henrietta Swallow-Richards.
I made these 2 years ago, and they're tough. Like, from now on, they get a little bit more hard, so just an FYI.
The correct answer is Elizabeth Bragg. 22 of you guys got that right.
Wow.
Ooh, someone challenging the third place. In a year, what is the percentage of all bachelor's degrees in engineering earned by women? 23%, 19%, 17%, or 28%? What do you guys think? You think
I would go 19%.
How many of you guys here are interested in engineering?
Yes, we love to see it.
correct answer was 19%. Yeah. She didn't know that. She yeah.
Ooh, third place, that's a movement. Our two speakers are still in first and second place. Someone's got to challenge some. 74% of girls are interested in a STEM profession, but of STEM students, what percent of STEM students are women? We have 22%, 39%, 12%, and 31%.
I don't remember. I think it might be 22. It's 22. There you go.
She did make this group, so
Yeah.
she did make it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't do the guessing thing. I know the answer.
No change. Wow. We got a good top 5 though. Who invented the first programming language in English?
So we have Florence, I think that's a typo.
My bad.
Barbara McClintock, Irene, how to pronounce her last name, and Grace Hopper. Correct answer is Grace Hopper.
No, is it no change still?
You guys know your stuff.
Yeah, or no one's getting it right. Everyone's just not scoring points. Next question. Martha Costin invented the Costin sprinklers, Costin radio, Costin tracking system, or Costin flares. Fun fact, whatever the correct answer is still being used by the US Navy to this day. The correct answer is the Costin flares. Yeah, that's actually very important. Oops, there was a change.
Whoa, Angelina knocked our other speaker out of second place. Let's see if she can knock Miss McFarland. The drama. Which is above an earlier barrier to, oh my gosh, girls and women in STEM? Girls are harder on themselves than boys. No examples of strong women in media and books. All of the above, where women are subjected to harassment and biases. There's often, historically, been a lot of challenges for women to pursue STEAM degrees. But we're hoping that this conference helps inspire you guys to try and break through some of those barriers that you might face and equip you with the skills to do so.
Okay.
I don't know. I think Angelina's coming for you, Ms. McFarland. What was Rosalind Franklin's greatest contribution? The double helix, mobile X-ray unit, computer algorithm, or plant hybrid species? You know, I do know this. Yeah. Like on top of the science, huh?
Yeah, I love STEAM trivia.
Do you know him? Yes. Ooh, the double helix. Who here is interested in med pathway? Okay, a couple of you.
Fun fact, Rosalind Franklin was actually the initial person to discover the double helix. She just didn't get credit for it. It was Watson and Crick who got credit, but she was the original person to discover it.
And we can see this with a lot of other science innovations and discovery that men usually take credit for women's work. In what year was the Society of Women Engineers created? I know a lot of sweet people are here today, so you better get this right. Come on. 1935, 1995, 1980, or 1950? Tough one. Correct answer is 1950. Did you know this, Ava? Good job. Good job. She's a good SWENext president.
Next question is, which job has the least gender diversity in the STEAM field? We have electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, computer science, and chemical engineering.
I don't know. Maybe electrical. I'm not sure.
Tough one.
It is tough. I know a lot of my friends who graduated this past year got to mechanical engineering. It is.
Mechanical engineering.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Miss McFarland, she's got all the answers. Oh my
She's
goodness.
going in strong.
She is. How many Nobel Prizes have been awarded in physics, science, and medicine, and physiology were awarded to women? Options are 7, 31, 22, or 19. Okay, it's 19. That's a good number. We want to get it up. Next Nobel Prize winner in this room. I can feel it. Okay, I think that was our last question. Let's see the podium. Third place, our speaker, Emily. Second place, Angelina Kwan. And first place, Miss McFarland. We know it. Okay, Ms. McFarland, we appreciate your valiant effort, but we're going to give our prize to Angelina Kwan. Would you like to step forward?
Perfect. Thank you everyone for playing. Hopefully if you didn't win, you learned something and you're right. You know, it's a lot of fun trivia.
Thank you for Starbucks or Einstein Books? Starbucks? Yeah. Thank you so much. Of course.
So, speaking of the cuckoo, our next speaker is going to be Miss Morgan McFarland. She's a junior mechanical engineering and bioengineering major at San Diego State University. Over the summer, she worked as a mechanical design intern at Advanced Semiconductor Lithography in the returning school year. She will also continue to expand her university's SWE program as the professional outreach officer. So congratulations.
Hi everyone, thank you for having me. I first want to say I'm really excited to be here. I was really honored to be able to have the opportunity to come and speak at this conference. This is my first time ever speaking at a conference, but this is first for everything. And it's just amazing to see what you guys are already doing at such a young age. You guys are already really ahead of the game, more ahead of the game than I was. And then we can go to the next slide. So quickly before I start, I kind of just want to do a little background information about who I am. I know I had the introduction, but I'm originally from Sacramento, Northern California. I moved to San Diego for school. I go to SDSU right now, and I'm an undergrad student studying mechanical engineering, and then I have emphasis in bioengineering, which is one of the really cool things that San Diego State offers. I'm going to my third year this year, so 2 more years left. So far, it's been a blast. I really like it. And then just some extracurriculars that I'm a part of, and kind of just a little bit about myself is I'm in Society of Engineers. This is the first club I ever joined, and this is my second year being on their executive board as the professional outreach officer. And then I've been in the club for 3 years. I just joined Tau Beta Pi, which is an honor society for upperclassmen. I'm also part of a club called Crew, which is like not engineering related, but just an extra outside of that. And then I'm also joining the SAE Electric Racing Team project team this year. So first I want to start off with why I chose to do a STEAM related education major. I bounced back from the idea of like wanting to do psychology or go into the medical field. And then my entire perception on what I wanted to do changed freshman year of high school through a TED Talk, actually. So in that slide is the TED Talk. If you're interested in engineering or something related still to STEAM, like it all correlates, I really encourage you to watch it. It's called Inspiring the Next Generation of Female Engineers. And so before this, I never once thought about engineering. She starts her TED Talk asking the audience to close their eyes and picture an engineer. And she then goes to list, did you picture a guy sitting alone in front of an office by himself? Or maybe a train conductor? Or even a young guy wearing a hoodie, maybe like Mark Zuckerberg. And then she asked, raise your hand if you pictured someone like her. And she's right there. Not a lot of hands were raised, unfortunately, but it's not really, you'd expect that, I guess I would say. And in fact, if I was in that audience as a high school student, my hand would not have been raised. I never once thought that engineering was something that was possible to do as a female. I grew up not thinking Legos were meant to be played by women. Construction tools or regular building blocks were just for my brother. I'm a twin, so my brother got all those cool gadgets and I always wanted to play with them. And I'd play with them, I never asked for them specifically. And growing up, I am a first-generation college student and a first-generation engineer in my family. Well, once I get my degree. So all of this is very new. I came from not knowing basically anything about engineering, so it's amazing that you're all here today because you've had someone in your life or just through your school system telling you that you can pursue something in STEAM and pursue something maybe engineering related. In the beginning, I started telling people my senior year what I was majoring in college. And I said, mechanical engineering. And it was really amazing at first, the reactions. A lot of times I got like, wow, I was not expecting that, or you must be a crazy genius, or super smart to be able to do that. And the comments were flattering at first, but eventually I got to a point where I kind of stopped liking the reactions. I started kind of wanting to be, yes, engineering is hard, STEAM-related majors are very hard, and they require a lot of work. But I kind of wanted to get to the point where people were not so surprised that I wanted to do engineering. In fact, when I told my parents that I'm going to be majoring in engineering in college, they asked me, are you sure? And then they knew I was good at math and science and I liked those things, but they still asked me why. So overall, what really inspired me to pursuing an education in STEAM was I wanted to push my limits intellectually. I love school, I love math, science, all of those things were something I was pretty good at growing up. And then solving problems that actually have meaning. I really wanted to do something that I felt like contributed to the world. And it sounds really cliche, but I do want to make an impact on the world by designing something that's tangibly going to help someone. So starting in my academic career, I first decided to join a few clubs, and I think the most important thing I ever did was pursue a leadership role. Starting in Society of Women Engineers, I decided to, after my first year being in the club, to join the executive board. And it was never easy, even in an all-girls club. It's never easy to be a leader, it's never easy, and it doesn't get easier, honestly. I still struggle, and it's still hard to be a prominent leader and to lead in STEAM. The statistics of women are still low. In my classes specifically, only 19% of mechanical engineering majors are women. In aerospace, only 9% are women. Can you imagine that in a class that out of 10 people, there's only one girl, and maybe even not that much? So going to my classes freshman year, it was intimidating. It was hard. I felt lonely, so the first club I decided to join was Society of Women Engineers. I'm not just promoting Society of Women Engineers, but I'm promoting getting into clubs that you're gonna find community and people like-minded. So from there, I met my best friends. There's a group of 4 of us, and we're kind of like a power team. We study together, we are in positions together on executive boards. We're in other clubs separately and holding leadership roles right now. We study together, we ace our tests together. It is a great dynamic to have. And of course, I have many guy friends still that's just gonna happen. Like, your classes are basically guys, so you'll get many guy friends who study with them. It'll be great. But I still found myself really lonely in my first semester of college without having them and without having a community like that. So I want to say, make sure you put yourself out there. It's important to be uncomfortable, and not joining leadership roles is only gonna not impact you in a way. It's only gonna hinder your role in academics, in professional fields, in club settings, because it's never gonna be easier to step out of your comfort zone. That's the whole point. Like, you're never gonna reach a point where you're like, okay, I'm ready to step out of my comfort zone, because it's never gonna happen. You just have to do it. You just have to pursue it one day and decide it's time to start. And without having pursued a leadership role, you're never gonna encourage other women to also believe they belong there. If it wasn't for the girl in the TED Talk there, I would not have known anything about engineering, and it was super random. It was an English class that my English teacher had us watch this TED Talk and do an analysis about it. But without her stepping into this leadership role, and she talks about all of the things that she had troubles with, and pursuing that degree, pursuing being a business owner as well, because she produced a product. But without having her step into that leadership role, I would have never thought about doing engineering. I would have never been here. I would have never been speaking here. And I would have never been encouraged to do leadership roles, such as in Society of Engineers and stepping out of my comfort zone. You can go to the next slide. Okay, so a little glimpse into my life. I do want to just preface again, like, overcoming fear, it's always going to be something that you need to do. I encourage seeking mentorship. I still have mentors to this day that I look up to so heavily, because there's always going to be someone that has more education than you, has more knowledge, has more wisdom, and they're going to guide you through something. And you guys might be looking to me like I have so much wisdom, and I still feel like I don't. I still look to so many leaders that are older than me, that are graduates from just undergrad, that are in professional settings, and I look to them to be able to find inspiration, to gain confidence, to be able to talk authoritatively, and then find a community to relate to is a huge way that I overcame fear. Entering the STEAM-related majors and college is all very hectic on its own. And then it's just important in general that you not only stepping into leadership roles inspires yourself and also inspires others. Yes, it builds your resume. I'm sure you guys all already think about building these statistics of doing all these things, getting into the perfect college, getting into good programs, going and holding some crazy role, but it's important to remember that you need to inspire yourself first through these roles, and then through that you're also able to inspire others to be able to step out of the comfort zone and to be able to belong to a setting like that. In my experience, like I said, over the summer, I was in an internship, and even then, in a professional setting, I still felt outcasted a little bit. I would say my company was very male-dominated, and that's just the truth about STEAM, and that's the truth about STEM and engineering. A lot of times you will be in a field or an actual professional setting, not just through my education and through college classes, that you're going to be maybe the only woman in the room. And it's weird to see once you actually get there. It's like you're just hearing it right now. And I heard it, but I never really believed it until I actually got there and saw what it was like. So I've had times where I've had no issues at all being in a role. I've had times where I've had to gain people's respect by proving myself first, which is hard. But through mentorship, through talking to people and finding clubs that I could relate to, I was able to learn to start talking with confidence, to start talking with authoritativeness and assertiveness, to be able to get my ideas across, to have people listen to me, to get my ideas out there, because you all have ideas, you're all very smart. There's nothing that you will all contribute really well to anything that you're doing. And my current roles right now is I am an outreach officer for Society of Engineers. This is my second year doing that. And I've had so many amazing experiences through that, so many opportunities given to me like this one. I would have never been able to speak here if I didn't meet some of the girls on the board at Society of Women Engineers Scholarship Banquet, which I'm really thankful for. And then I'm starting to join a position, a project leading position for the electric racing team that I'm going into. And even with that club, I've been pushing that off to join because I've been feeling like it's out of my comfort zone. And then this year, going into my junior year, I was like, you know what, I need to step out of that. Like, yes, it might be scary, it might not have a lot of women, not a lot of women in leading roles, but I decided that I do qualify for it. I need to get rid of that imposter syndrome kind of mindset where I feel like I don't qualify, because there's been plenty of times where I've applied to scholarships or internships feeling like I don't qualify, and then I actually get interviews and I actually get positions. So it's just important to remember that you do qualify, and even if you don't meet all the things that they want, all the bullet points, you'll have so much to say, and regardless, you're going to bring so much to the team, and they see that. You don't have to be perfectly fit and perfectly made doing all these things to get into anywhere. Like, you're still going to get into college, you're still going to get into clubs and jobs if you don't do well on a test, if you don't do well on a project. So it's just important not to push yourself too hard. So that's why I put on there, find a balance. So from this speech, I don't want you to go out and get every single leadership position that there's out there, because it's important to plant yourself into just a few positions and be really prominent in those and focus your time on those so that you're not burnt out, for one, that you're still remembering why you're doing them and what inspired you originally to want to pursue STEAM, and get yourself out there, but not too much, because you don't want to be overwhelmed. You still want to have fun pursuing whatever you're pursuing. So overall, I wanted to say that there are infinite possibilities for all of you. You're all here at such a young age learning, and I was never in this position. I never once went to anything like this in my high school. I never had opportunities with Society of Engineers, never had opportunities learning about STEAM in high school or middle school. It was really, I just picked it on my own, and now I really want to be able to go to conferences like this where I'm able to speak on this topic and to help provide education for our high school students and middle school students to be able to learn. Because learning does not stop, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning to go out of my comfort zone like this. I'm still learning to go into leadership roles and really feel like I belong. So I just want to encourage you guys that it doesn't ever stop, but seeking mentorship is really important, and also finding community that you feel like-minded with is really important. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Ms. McFarland. That was such an inspirational speech. I mean, I know I found so much community with TitanBot, and just the leadership team, all the kids on the team are amazing, so hardworking, and we all share passion for STEM. So that message is really, that spoke to me.
Once again, thank you, Ms. McFarland, for presenting. That was an amazing talk about your experience and such. Now we're actually going to have a 10-minute snack break, little quick intermission. So we have the snacks over there in that corner, if you guys want to go ahead and take a little break.
We'll get back on the mic and tell you when the 10 minutes is up. But feel free to move around, stretch your legs, get some snacks. There's also a ton of coolers over there with water. I know it's been a hot day, so thank you guys. Everyone, we ask that you guys start returning to your seats. You can eat at the tables, no worries about that. Yeah, please start heading back to your seats. We're going to start in a few seconds.
Hi everyone, so we are going to start with our next speaker presentation. Next we have Miss Emily Paris. She has obtained a bachelor's degree in cognitive science, specializing in neuroscience from UC San Diego. While she was there, she assumed the role of director of philanthropy for her sorority, spearheading impactful fundraising campaigns for the children of St. Jude's Hospital. After graduating, she began working in a vision therapy office where she crafted personalized vision plans, and she's continuing to work on her graduate school applications.
Fun fact, she's also a former TitanBot alum, and she was one of our PR directors, basically what me and Katie do. And like I just said, she's one of the founders of our girls' conference. So please give a round of applause for Ms.
Okay, hi everyone, my name is Emily. Like they said, I am a former TitanBot and I was on the founding board for this conference. It's really cool to be back here with you guys again. Really honored to be speaking and sharing what I've done since then. So, I decided to share with you what I thought college was going to be like and what it ended up being like on my 4th or 5th day, just so that you guys might be a little bit more prepared for it than I was, so you can go to the next slide. So I thought college was going to be so cute, so lovely, so wonderful. And I don't even think it was day 5 by the time I called my mom and said, okay, I'm ready to come home. Please come pick me up, I'm scared. And if you don't believe me, I brought receipts. If you go to the next slide. My first and second day exploring campus and in lab. And that was my 3rd day. I bought the wrong lab book and got sent out of my lab because I didn't have the right materials. And that picture, I had strep throat. So it was an interesting first couple of days of college. But I didn't realize that a lot of that was based in my fear of starting college. And so if you go to the next page, we can go back to my experience. Thank you. So like I said, I did TitanBot in high school. I was on the PR team and I was a spirit director, so woo! We did a lot in the engineering world, and that felt like a very safe space for me, but I never knew exactly what I wanted to do. I was interested in a lot of different things, and so when it came time to apply to colleges, every school that I applied to, and I applied to a lot, I applied as a different major. I ended up at UCSD as a biology major to start out, and the more classes I took, the more I realized that I just love the brain. Anytime we would discuss neuroscience or anything that had to do with that, I'd get super excited. So I started down the cognitive science path. Initially, I was just going to minor in it, and then I found out if I switched my major, I could just take a class called traumatic brain injuries, and that sounded so exciting to me. And so I ended up switching my major and specializing in neuroscience, which eventually led me to, we did a lot of studies on the visual field and how vision works in the brain. And now I am working as a visual therapy assistant. And so that's a little bit about me. So like I said, when I started college, a lot of the fear when I started college was just not knowing. So like Morgan said earlier, I think it's really important to develop a community when you enter college. Here's my little please don't beat me moment. That top picture there is a B-reel of me at my first ever office hours with a professor. I was 1 quarter away from graduating. So I had been in school for 4 years, sort of isolating myself from the people who I thought were so far ahead of me. that office hour ended up being an hour and a half talk about my life, her life. It was so nice to get to connect with her and find out how many different resources my school had that I had not been taking full advantage of. So I highly recommend it. If when you guys decide to go to college, please talk to your professors, talk to your TAs. They're there to help you and they know so much about the campus already once you're there. Another thing is finding mentors probably isn't the most helpful piece of advice to give you, because where do you start with that? So I would say find someone who is where you want to be in the field, and find someone who is wanting to be in that place as well, but is just a few steps ahead of you. So my mentors, I want to be an optometrist. They have their OD degrees, they are practicing. But on the right-hand side, you can see my mentor, Luke. She's a 4th-year optometry student, and so she can tell me about the board she's taken and what optometry school is actually like without it being as scary as trying to talk to someone who I perceive as already being there and already being so established. And next to her is my friend Michelle, who's also just a few steps ahead of me because she's taken our exams for that. So really just trying to surround yourself with people in the entire line and not just thinking, I need one person who is already completely where I want to be. My next part of overcoming fear in STEM is just applying to things that even though you might not think you're qualified for, you probably actually are. So this is me at a Berkeley optometry camp. It's on Zoom, I'm sure you guys all recognize. But I applied, even though I didn't meet some of the criteria, and I still got in. And this is my team. In the highlighted box is our team lead, Daisy, and she was really excited to help us all kind of figure out where we could fit in the field and if this was somewhere we wanted to be. And now I get to text all of these wonderful people if I'm having a problem or if I don't understand something. And I got to work with them for a week on a really cool project that was globalizing optometric education, which I wouldn't have gotten that experience if I didn't put myself out there. So you're gonna be afraid, but just do it afraid, because sometimes you'll end up with something really wonderful. And if you don't get it, then it wasn't meant to be, and that's okay. So you might be wondering, you can go to the next slide. Why would I want to be in STEAM anyways? And I'm giving you guys some lovely throwback pictures. I was gonna include a throwback picture of Mr. Faust, but I thought that wasn't very fair without warning him, so I didn't. But I think you guys should just try whatever you think will cause any amount of joy, anything that you're even slightly interested in. You don't even have to take a class in it. Sit in on a class, go with your friends to office hours, hear about their classes. I didn't know about cognitive science at all when I entered UCSD. One of my friends told me, you have to take this GE. And so I blame her for me being a cognitive scientist now. But yeah, like at one point I thought I wanted to work for NASA, so I went to space camp. At one point I was really interested in submarines and underwater vehicles, and I went to all of the underwater vehicle things that they have out in Point Loma. I liked biology, so that's me finger painting with algae. And then you also have just experiences that are a little bit more random. I was never super into fashion or design. I didn't think I was very good at it. But I still went to a camp where you could explore that. And eventually, as you see here, I have some fun little eyeglasses on. When I was in elementary school, I did FIRST, I believe, which is like the junior level of FRC. And our team research project was on amblyopia. So vision is something that came in and out of my life, and it took me a couple times to realize that's actually what I wanted to do. So it's okay, like you're not always gonna be interested in the same thing. As long as you keep trying, you'll get to where you need to be. And I also included a picture of me when I was on TitanBot. That was at our FLL tournament, and so yeah, go TitanBot. You guys are doing such great things. You guys have so many opportunities to learn. I didn't know when I first joined TitanBot that I enjoyed writing, and I didn't know that I enjoyed planning events. And so being a part of TitanBot really helped me be able to do that. And later in college, when I became a director of philanthropy, I was planning a lot of events and working with a lot of people that combined my interests of science and planning events and helping people. So I think it was really good to get that experience now. So, now, what about mistakes? Don't worry, you're gonna make them. And if you told me that in high school, I think I might have had a meltdown. That was probably the scariest thing you could have said to me in high school. And I just want you to know that it's okay to make those mistakes. The first time I took human physiology, I failed the class. And I told one of my mentors about it, and she said, so you're gonna retake it? And I said, no. And it took me a year to build up the courage to retake the class. But I eventually did, and I ended up getting a really good grade in the class the second time. But it was a way to prove to myself that I could do the hard thing, and I didn't end up changing my major from bio to cogs until I finished that class with a good grade, because I wanted to prove to myself that I wasn't changing because it was too hard for me. I was changing because it was something that I loved more. Now, there's a quote that I saw last year in a museum about Winston Churchill, and it says, success is not final and failure is not fatal. I can't find, like I Googled it when I got home, couldn't find the actual Winston Churchill quote, so it's possibly him, but I think that's something good to keep in mind. I think that we need to remember that failure is not fatal. I'm actually a huge advocate for having hobbies that you're not really good at. I love paddleboarding. I fall in 80% of the times that I go paddleboarding. But it teaches you resilience, and it teaches you that it's okay, you can keep doing it. So, next slide. Why do we need more women in STEAM anyways? Well, I think we learned from that Kahoot that there's not nearly enough women in general. And so the first reason is we need to have more tables and more women at those tables. A lot of times you'll hear in STEAM fields like, oh, I didn't feel like I had a seat in the table, I didn't have a voice in that conversation. You can have your own party and have your own table. 2, perspective and problem solving. I don't know if you guys have heard, there was a TikTok sound that went viral a couple years ago. That was about when NASA was sending Sally Ride to space. They wanted to send her with 110 bombs for 6 days. So essentially, if you are part of the community that's being affected by a problem, we need you to be a part of the solution. And 3, we need a greater representation of what it means to be a woman in STEM. In the early 2000s, you thought of a woman in STEM and you'd think of someone who's very frumpy and either too quiet or too overbearing. And I think the more women in STEAM we get, the more that will change the narrative of what a woman in STEAM means. You don't have to be one way. You can be a woman and be in STEAM and have those be 2 completely different things. So, yeah. With that, my last challenge to you is, instead of asking why you should be a woman in STEAM, maybe ask yourself why not. Why wouldn't you want to? So, that's all I have for you guys today. If you want to contact me, that's my email and my phone number. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have about college, cog sci, vision therapy, anything. So yeah, thanks so much for letting me share with you guys.
That was so eye-opening and amazing. Thank you so much, Miss Emily. During registration, everyone was given a raffle ticket, and for our final, for our prizes, in this bucket right here. So we're gonna be starting with our first 2 raffles of the day. So please have your own tickets on your hand and raise your hand if you believe you have the winning ticket. And after the raffle has ended, please come forward and receive your prize. Katie has them over there. Okay, so first one. Okay, right here. So the first winning raffle number is number 015834. There you go. Ooh, congratulations!
Okay, second one is going to be 0158 3 to 1.
Sorry, I'm like demolishing this package trying to get them over.
Oh,
Would you prefer
here we go.
Starbucks? Maybe I could $10 Einstein though? Yeah, Einstein. Okay.
Don't worry, we have like 4 more raffles, so you still have possibilities of winning. So keep your tickets with you. So yeah, congratulations to our winners.
Yep. You have Starbucks or Einstein?
I guess Starlight.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, that was fun. Now we're on to our final speaker. Her name is Miss Jenny Brooks. Ms. Brooks is the client service offices for Booz Allen's portfolio for work serving the Navy Marine Corps, working with teams to develop solutions across capabilities, including cybersecurity, systems engineering, and data science and analytics. Previously, Ms. Brooks led Booz Allen's work serving the Naval Information Warfare Systems Command, leading integrated teams supporting naval systems commands and warfare centers, spanning acquisition to engineering competencies. She holds a bachelor's in psychology from the University of California, San Diego, and an MBA from San Diego State University. Ms. Jenny Brooks was recognized by the San Diego Business Journal as one of the top 25 business women in the year 2018. We'd like to welcome her on stage now.
Thank you. Thanks. All right, give me the warning, because I'm liable to talk up here, left to my own devices. First of all, I apologize, I don't have slides, so you know what that means. This is going to be an interactive speech. Oh yes, yes I said interactive. So get ready for pop questions, but they won't be pop quizzes, I promise you. So first thing I'd like to ask you guys is, how many of you here in the audience are in middle school? How many of you are in high school? Anyone from elementary school? Early risers? a couple in the back. Well, welcome. I'm super excited to join you today. Thank you for spending your Saturday here together and with me. I'm an executive vice president for Booz Allen Hamilton. We are a management and technology consulting company that has 32,000 employees across the world. Well, what the heck does that mean? What do we do at Booz Allen? We are consultants, we're engineers, we're program managers, we're tech writers, we're cybersecurity analysts, we're financial managers, we're other experts who work with our clients across the Department of Defense, the federal sector, and also the commercial sector to solve some of their toughest challenges. What does this mean? This means we provide functional skills and expertise across areas including cybersecurity, engineering, data science, and analytics. And in doing our jobs, we have to learn and understand the latest and greatest in technology like artificial intelligence, cloud, 5G, quantum, and others. I'm also very proud to report that over half of the leadership team at Booz Allen are women. Woohoo! In my job, I lead our work for the Navy and Marine Corps. Does anyone here have a family member in the military? So many people, right? Well, then you and your families understand perhaps more than anyone how important our military is to keeping our country safe. And as a military family member, you also play an important role in the security of our nation, so we want to thank you for your service as well. I'm very honored to be here with you today and would like to thank all of the conference organizers. Is this an amazing conference or what? Let's get a round of applause. And all of the volunteers who make this event so special for all of us. I also want to thank my colleague Chris, who I got the invitation to join you here today by and helped us connect the Eastlake Educational Foundation with our own Booz Allen Foundation so that we can continue to join you at events like this. So I first want to start with a pop quiz question. No slides, pop quiz. Tell me something that has inspired you today, something you've heard in the room that's inspired you. Go ahead and shout it out.
Community.
Community, building a sense of community. We're all in this together. What else?
It's okay to make mistakes.
It's okay to make mistakes. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen again and again. Get ready for it. It's okay to fail. The challenge is how you get back up from that mistake. What have you learned from it? What else?
Apply even if you don't think you're qualified.
Apply for opportunities when you think you may not be qualified. We just heard that from Emily, right? That we've heard that from a couple speakers. Girls, women often shy away from applying for opportunities when they see something in a posting or a requirement that they haven't met. And I think you've heard now consistently, put your name in the hat. Go for it, right? Go for it. And you'll always learn something in the conversation about talking about a new opportunity, an internship, a job, going to a certain class or school. Put your name in the hat. What else? I heard someone else.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. And in fact, that's on page 5 of my notes somewhere is don't be afraid to ask for help. That's great. Because we're here to talk about shattering the glass ceiling, let me start off by recognizing some of the inspirational women who came before us, who challenged the status quo of their day, who invented new solutions to help change our world for the better and shattered glass ceilings in STEAM. Before I get on to that, can you share with me a little bit, who inspires you?
My mom.
Oh, first one out the gate was Mom. Thank you, of course. Of course, mothers make the world go round. Who else inspires you?
Mr. Faust.
Mr. Faust! We're going to do the throwback picture. We need the throwback picture. Who else?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother. Both my grandmothers were nurses for the United States Navy. And some of the stories they would tell about serving were, very distinct, unique. I learned a lot of lessons about perseverance and resilience from both my grandmothers. Well, I think it's safe to say we see inspiration all around us, right? And I've heard Emily talk about mentors. Mentors can be classmates or friends or even people on LinkedIn. Let me share with you some of the women that I'm inspired by from both sort of our history and some more recent examples. These women were among the first in their fields. They're the trailblazers in STEAM who showed courage, tenacity, dedication, who pushed boundaries, brought their ideas and their skills, and used their voices to change the world. Katherine Johnson, has anyone heard of Katherine Johnson? She's a brilliant NASA mathematician. She played an integral role in the success of America's first human space flights in the 1969, I know it sounds like a long time ago, Apollo 11 flight to the moon. In addition to tackling the unimaginable feat of calculating trajectories for space travel, Ms. Johnson also overcame challenges she faced as a woman of color. Until only recently, she and her fellow female computers at NASA, called the computers, were largely unknown. Rear Admiral Grace Murray Hopper, has anyone heard of her? She's phenomenal. She was an innovator in the field of computer science. During her 44-year career, she published more than 50 papers and articles on software and programming, and was a pioneer in the development of the common business-oriented language for computer systems. She retired from the Navy at the age of 79. During World War II, as part of a secret United States Army project, a team of 6 women programmed the first all-electronic programmable computer. These women learned to program before there were programming languages or tools. The program was made public a long time ago, in 1946, but the women were not recognized until just recently. Of course, you know Sally Ride. She was the first American woman in space, and after NASA, she dedicated her voice and her career to educating and inspiring the next generation of STEAM leaders. We all have a lot to thank to women like Sally Ride. And of course, today, we still find recent examples of female STEAM leadership and inspiration all around us. Greta Thunberg is an environmental activist who challenges world leaders to take action on climate change mitigation. Her activism began when she was just 15 years old, when she persuaded her parents to adopt lifestyle choices that reduce their carbon footprint. And Admiral Lisa Franchetti was recently nominated by President Joe Biden to lead the US Navy. If confirmed, Admiral Franchetti will become the first woman to lead the Navy in its entire 247-year history. Alva Colin had dreams of being an astronaut and going into space, but when she went to college, she was given an opportunity to work on a race car project, where she discovered her love for racing and motorsports. In 2001, she became NASCAR Cup's program manager, and in 2018, she started a job at Hendrick Motorsports as the NASCAR team's director of competition systems. In this job, her teams developed the simulations that the race teams use, working on tires, data acquisition, and testing in the lab on the track. What a cool job. And Melinda French Gates, she was first introduced to the Apple II computer by her father and a teacher who advocated teaching computer science at the all-girls school that she attended. From this experience, Ms. Gates developed her interest in computer games and the basic programming language. Today, she is a champion for women in STEAM. In 2016, she announced her desire to increase diversity in the workplace, especially in the technology industry, stating, quote, "Every company needs technology, and yet we're graduating fewer women technologists. That's not good for society. We have to change it." We have all benefited from women like this, and we will continue to benefit immensely from these women who shattered the glass ceilings in STEAM. Being in STEAM has enabled us to dream big, to get curious, to use our creativity, and explore scientific experimentation to solve all the big problems in our world that we see around us. Each of you can and will help us change the world through participating in STEAM, whether that's making the internet a safer place, protecting our military abroad, finding cures for diseases, building robots or virtual reality solutions, creating green energy technology, or designing rockets that shoot off into space. We need you in STEAM, and we want you with us. Let me share share a few of my personal tips. You can take them or leave them as you prepare for and explore all the possibilities that you'll face in your future. The first is to be curious. Take a growth mindset. Don't be shy to ask questions. You can ask all the questions you want. There is no stupid questions. I ask questions all the time. At its core, STEAM requires us to ask questions, to inquire, to research, to test, and explore solutions and ideas to the problems we see around us. Challenge yourself to ask more, because you have to understand the problems that you're trying to solve, and to do that, you start at being curious and inquisitive. Albert Einstein once said, quote, "I have no special talent, I am only passionately curious." Take a growth mindset. Today, in my job, I still learn something every day, and that's what I love about it. Stay dedicated to learning, to asking questions, and to growing, and that will provide tremendous rewards for you personally, in your school studies, and in your work. Number 2, build your network. We've heard some of the other speakers talk about this. Build your network with professionals working in the fields that you find exciting. The key is, don't be shy to introduce yourself to them, to your teachers, to professionals in the field, to your colleagues in class, to people in clubs, to other leaders in the community. That's the most intimidating part, is to just step in and introduce yourself to them and start to build a relationship. You'll meet people at the conference today, you can build relationships with them. These people are happy to meet with you. They will always take time to answer your questions, to give you ideas, to give you feedback, to share their lessons learned. We're all in it together. Explore internships or other opportunities to get your foot in the door and to gain that real-world experience. Internships are always a great way to start and to help you better understand what you love about the opportunity or what you don't love about the opportunity. Sometimes you find, oh, this isn't the right place for me. I found something different that I'm more attracted to, and that's what that experience and those internships and clubs are really all about. Use your social media for good. Make connections with mentors, leaders, teachers in the industries, the companies, the nonprofits, other organizations in the schools that you're interested in. Eventually, don't be shy about building your LinkedIn page, and just reaching out to people who inspire you that you see. You never know when a connection can be made, and it'll be very valuable. Number 3, let your creativity shine. Don't let anyone diminish your uniqueness or your different ideas. Diversity is why we're here today. Diversity drives new, innovative approaches and solutions. Diversity is the key to our future and to the solutions in our community. As Mae Jemison, who was the first African-American astronaut in space, said, and I quote, "Don't let anyone rob you of your imagination, your creativity, or your curiosity. It's your place in the world. It's your life. Go on and do all you can with it and make it the life you want to live." Number 4, use your voice and be your own advocate. Melinda Gates once said, quote, "A woman with a voice is by definition a strong woman." Bring your thoughts, bring your ideas, bring your proposals, bring your stories. They're yours and yours alone, and they are important for all of us to hear and learn from. And it's okay if your voice contrasts or disagrees with someone else's. Never let that diminish you. That's what diversity is intended to be for, to bring everyone's voices into the room and at the table. Your voice will be one that makes a difference for you and for all of us. Number 5, I have a lot of tips, sorry. Ask for help, don't go it alone. You're never alone. There's always help around you, available to guide you, to collaborate and partner with you on your next steps. Find a mentor or mentors who you're interested in learning from. Just ask them. The first step is just asking them, would they be willing to have a coffee or lunch with you? Would they be willing to meet with you and share some of their lessons learned and perspectives from their own career? And chances are every single one of them are going to say yes, because someone did that for them, and we are happy to do it for others. Throughout my career, I've had different mentors for very different reasons, depending on what I felt I needed, what I wanted to work on, what I wanted to stretch into, and what I was interested in or passionate about. Some of my mentors have come and gone, and others have stayed with me throughout my career. Some of them have been very technical, and some of them have just been other working moms like me. Mentors are happy to help. They will offer advice, they will support you. The first step is just stepping in and asking them. Number 6, follow your heart and trust your instinct. The world of STEAM isn't just about math and science and engineering. We need creative thinkers, inventors, we need tech writers, storytellers, people who can give speeches, people who bring their diverse life experiences, their perspectives, and their ideas to creating the solutions we need to change the world. If you're drawn to technology and STEAM, you think you can make a contribution here, but you're worried that you don't fit all of the requirements, or you're worried that maybe you're not a great computer scientist or statistics was super hard, don't worry. Follow your heart, chase your dream, trust that you can have an impact here in helping us address the challenges and the opportunities we see in STEAM. Number 7, find your why and have fun. Whether it's a passion for making a difference in our community, pushing yourself for your personal or your professional goals, inspiring others, whatever it is that drives you, that will be your guiding North Star. It's up to you to find your why, and once you do, hold on to it, trust it, follow it. It will motivate you and it will carry you forward to the exact place that you're meant to be. Rita Levi Montalcini, who is the recipient of the 1986 Nobel Peace Prize in Physiology, said, and I quote, "I tell young people, do not think of yourself, think of others. Think of the future that awaits you. Think about what you can do. Do not fear anything." Feeling a personal connection to those around us, between our school, our work, our community, feeling that why will make all of this rewarding no matter where you are in life. And while we work hard in STEAM, there's always a joyous, rewarding pursuit, and one that you can enjoy and have fun in along the way. Yes, women are still underrepresented in STEAM, and there's work to be done here. But we can celebrate the progress made by all the women before us and the bright future that we have in exciting STEAM fields and opportunities before us. Our motto at Booz Allen is to empower people to change the world. Each of you will play a role in helping us change the world. Just remember, be curious and take a growth mindset. Build your network. Let your creativity shine. Be bold, be unique, use your voice. Be your own advocate. Ask for help. Follow your heart and trust your instinct, and always remember your why. It will make a difference in the world around you. Thank you for having me join you today. I look forward to the rest of our day together.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for such an inspiring speech. It was amazing, right?
So good. I need those tips.
I know. While we let our panelists prepare, can we have some volunteers help us with the tables in the back? So while we let our panelists prepare, we will be announcing the winners of our third and fourth raffle. Again, please have your tickets ready to go and raise your hand if you believe you have the winning raffle ticket.
Look at the screen. Okay. No. Okay.
So, first winner. You want to pick the first one?
The transition.
We have 015814. Anyone?
Would you like Einstein Brews or Starbucks?
And for our second winner this round, we have ticket number 015821. Woo! Congratulations to our winner. Please join me get your prizes up here at Katie on the front.
$10 for Einstein. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Okay. One of TitanBot's biggest traditions is going all out with team spirit, right? Can we hear some noise? I know we like making noise. So we had the honor to win the Spirit Award during our Central Valley Regional back in 2022. So today we would like to invite everyone to join us in doing one of our favorite things at a robotics competition, which I can say for all of us, I think it brings out the spirit of FRC. We love dancing. Of course, we gotta dance at our biggest outreach event, right? So please join us. We're not shy here. We are. We're gonna dance together, right, Noah? Sorry, we're cueing music. This is not awkward silence. I'm having some tech issues here, but we'll get through that in a minute.
Via, tell us about TitanBot.
Well, TitanBot is, again, a student-led organization. There's about 70 of us who go to, like, after school, we meet every day to just embrace the spirits of FIRST and the core values, because FIRST is a robotics team, but it's way more than robots, and it's one of the traditions that not only do we aim to teach students about engineering and inspire them to be the leaders of tomorrow by fostering STEAM and science and math and just education in general, but we also provide them with life skills to be better communicators and thinkers and just better people overall, while also trying to make an impact to our community. So that's why we host events like these, because we really want to reach out and help our community become a better place. Ava, why don't you tell us a little bit about SWE?
Okay. So SWENext, as I talked about earlier, is the Society of Women Engineers Next. We actually have collaborate a lot with the SWE San Diego section. I'm not sure where she is, but Dr. Nguyen is actually the vice president of the SWE San Diego section for FY24. And we have a lot of events with them, like we have the Southeast San Diego Science and Art Expo, there's STEAM fairs, there's all kinds of opportunities and events, and you make a lot of really great networking contacts as well. I know that for me personally, I met a lot of really great people through SWE. It's a great opportunity. So if you are in middle school and you're coming to Eastlake High, feel free to join. We have meetings Thursdays at IT2.
So basically, network during that lunch, right? Okay, so music is going to be a little weird because I'm going to play it through my phone, and then you guys are going to hear it through the mic. But we is that going to be loud enough?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, never mind. We're not doing that because that seems like a really bad idea. We're going to get a speaker, but we need to uphold tradition. Who was here at last girls' conference last year? Can you raise your hand? Wow, that's great. Yeah, that's great. Someone from 2021? Okay. Sorry, this was not supposed to happen. But you know, life just never how you expect it, right? Yeah, we make mistakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what have you gained by being part of this girls' conference experience, putting it together?
Us personally, or as you attended?
You.
So it is a lot of arduous planning, as we have experience, because we start planning this in May. So it's a lot of planning that goes involved into this event. But just seeing you all today, it really just brings our hearts full of joy, because our hard effort, it's just worth it when we see a lot of students like you being interested in an engineering degree. I'm going to pass them back to Katie because she's very excited to share.
Well, I know I directed the PR team 21, and it was online. So I ran an online conference. We adapted the format of the conference from in-person to online, and that was a lot of logistics to that. But I know I was offered an internship along with Alyssa Wong. We were offered an internship, a paid naval internship, after the conference, because we networked with a bunch of the people there. We got to know some of the speakers, and opportunities come out of the networking. So if you're scared to talk to the speakers, if you're scared to talk to the networkers, don't be scared. They're here to help you. They're here to support you. They're here for you. So you will get something out of this, and they're here to provide you with opportunities and the advice that you need.
You mentioned the internships. Are you saying there's internships that high schoolers can access, or is it in college?
There are a couple. I know the one that I was offered, it's called CIAP. It is through NIWAC, which is Naval Information Warfare Centers, I believe. So they service high schoolers all the way through college. So I can't guarantee that you will be offered one here right now, but I know one of the speaker we had 2 years ago, she was like, oh, you should apply for this. You should do this. This is this opportunity. So you'll be presented with tons of opportunities. But yes, if you do some kind of scouting online, there's internships for high schoolers through STEM and evening meeting. You have anything to add, Eva?
Yeah, sure. So honestly, I'm not gonna lie. My freshman year, I'm a junior now. My freshman year, I attended the girls' conference online, and is it? Yeah, I believe it was online. But I'm not gonna lie. Since I was still new to the team and all of these opportunities were there, I attended, but I was still really shy and scared of asking questions and asking for help and such. But having these kinds of opportunities has helped me to learn and grow as a person. I was really shy 3 years ago. Like, I don't think freshman year me would be able to do what I do now, not with the help of all of our mentors and parents and teachers and such. So I think I've grown a lot as a person, and having these opportunities helped a lot.
Oh yeah, we're good.
Okay. We got it working! Woo! So, everyone, please join us, and we're going to be doing the Cupid Shuffle. I think that's my personal favorite.
This is a FRC tradition, so if you're interested in robotics, you're gonna get used to it. Yeah! We love dancing.
Okay, why are they all playing?
New Cupid! Time for a change! Down, down, do your dance. We got a brand new dance. Do your dance. Down, down, swing a break dance. Do your dance. Down, down, do your dance. Do your dance. They say I'm a rapper, and I say no. They say what you're doing, trying to do some zydeco. I just let the music come from my soul, so all of my people can stay on the floor. They got a brand new dance. You gotta move your muscle. A brand new dance. It's called the Cupid Shuffle. It don't matter if you're young or you're old. Here we go. We gon' show you how it goes. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance, yeah, yeah, yeah. Do your dance, do your dance. Let me see you do the Cupid. Down, do your dance, do your dance. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance, yeah. Down, down, do your dance. Let me see you do the Cupid. Down, do your dance, shuffle, baby. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Down, down, do your dance. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. Now you see what I'm talking about. I represent for the dirty side. Well, we're known for swinging now. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Let me see you do the Cupid. Shuffle on the Cupid, Cupid, shuffle on the Cupid. Shuffle the Cupid, Cupid, shuffle. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Walk it by yourself, walk it by yourself. To the right, to the right, to the right, the right, the right. The left, to the left, to the left, the left, the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walk it by yourself, walk it by yourself. And do the Cupid Shuffle. Now let me see you do the Cupid Shuffle. Now let me see you do the. It's your boy Cupid, C-U-P to I-D. Mr. Fat on the track, got another hit and beat. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance. Down, down, do your dance, do your dance.
Okay, we appreciate you guys for participating in that. It's like our little, I don't know, always happens at TitanBot competitions, at FIRST competitions. It's just like a little fun thing, get up and stretch. So now we're going to be transitioning into our panel. Everyone will be having the opportunity to ask questions about the panelists. So we're going to be having all 4 of our speakers who have presented with 2 additional panelists who we will be introducing now. Inside of each of your pamphlets, though, you will find example questions of things that you can ask speakers if you're like, I'm kind of shy, I don't know what I want to ask, but I know I want to ask something. There are some questions in there to kind of help get the conversation going if you are looking to talk to one of these panelists. So yeah, Ava, would you like to introduce our additional panelists? Yeah.
So, Miss Sarah Ramalui, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. She is an aerospace engineer and she's currently working for Lockheed Martin on space vehicles. She has worked on moon rover designs, spacecraft proposals, and other landers as an analyst, systems engineer, and components engineer. One of Sarah's recent projects is a cryogenic fuel transfer demonstration mission that she and her team will help astronauts explore farther out in space. Our next panelist is Dr. Tracy Wynn. She earned her her bachelor's in biology from UCSD and obtained her doctorate of optometry from the Southern California College of Optometry. Dr. Wynn serves as the Society of Women Engineers San Diego Professional Section, FY24 Vice President, as I mentioned earlier, and she is the past outreach chair. Her significant contributions to promoting diversity and gender equity in STEM fields has earned her the prestigious accolades, including the FY23 Diversity Champion Award, FY23 Member of the Year, and many other recognitions. She is also a dedicated international SWENext Club counselor and devoted FIRST Robotics mentor. So thank you all so much. We can start.
We'd like you all to try to and introduce yourselves again, just to make sure everyone is aware of your names. So, Dr. Wynn, you'd like to start, and we can go down the line.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
My name is Dr. Tracy Wynn. I'm actually the VP, Executive Council for the San Diego section of the Society of Women Engineers.
Hi, my name is Sarah Lally. This is the first time at one of these events. I work for Lockheed Martin as a spacecraft analyst / designer. I'm based out of Colorado, but I live here in San Diego. I moved here to be close to family. Nice to meet you guys.
Hi, I'm Morgan McFarland. Just a refresher, I go to San Diego State right now. I'm an undergrad student studying mechanical engineering, so I have a lot of information about college, I guess, right now. And Society of Women Engineers, engineering, STEM in general.
Go ask Tex. I'm Jenny Brooks.
Hi, I'm Emily Parise. I just graduated from UCSD with my degree in cognitive science, specialized in neuroscience. I'm on the optometry track, and I was in TitanBot in high school.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nina Rickens. I'm a neurologist, and I have special interest of helping people with headache and traumatic brain injury. I'm starting my networking right here. I see this wonderful opportunity for vision therapy connection. So thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much for our panel. So we're going to start off by asking you a question. That's actually the question that we ended off last year's conference at. But after the panels answer this question, feel free to raise your hand and ask questions because it's all about you guys and getting to know them more. So my question for you is, what would be one word to take home from this conference?
I want to say inspiration. I'm really inspired by what I see here, starting with robot playing basketball and so many talented people around. This is amazing. So inspiration is my word.
giving up and that you are going to make mistakes. I think that's so big, and we can't state that enough. Like, it's going to happen, and just keep persevering and never give up. Whatever you guys want to do, it's possible.
I would say curiosity, definitely allowing yourself to explore anything that interests you.
I would say boldness. I think stepping outside of your comfort zone is one of the biggest things that you need to overcome. I think that's really important. And networking or finding community or finding something to join, being bold about it and just being confident in yourself.
So what I would say is what you should get out of today is mentorship and networking. You will be inspired today, if not yet already, right, from all these great speakers. But the main thing is getting mentorship. It's so important to get the support on your path to any journey that you want to be, whether it's engineering or whether it's science related. It's important to have mentors, and it's important to have sponsors. Now, what's the difference between the two? Mentors guide you along the way, but sponsors, that's someone that would promote you while you're not in the room. So today, I would challenge you to find a mentor that can help you on your pathway.
I'll close this out. Is girl power one word? None of us are English majors, so I'm just going to say yes. But this is just really inspiring to see everyone in the room, girls, ladies, women, and of course our male allies. Really look forward to you. You are the future. You are at the table. You have a voice. You have ideas. Super excited to see where you take them.
Woo!
Any questions from the crowd? This is your opportunity to talk to our speakers. Go ahead.
Dr. Wynn, my question is for you. If somebody wanted to in high school start a club in the SWE up in North County, is there one up there? Is that something that could be looked into for our high school up in North County?
Okay, so SWE, Society of Women Engineers, next. SWENext is a way for students under 18 to belong to the society. And in San Diego County, back in 2018, my daughter Madeline started the first SWENext club at her high school. And since then, she's gotten all the support, and now she's in college. So I completely agree with you that starting a SWENext club is something that I highly recommend, especially in North County. I think Central San Diego has a lot of clubs already, but North County not so much. I would love to connect with you after this to start something. Now, I want to add something else. Besides the SWENext club, there's the SHIP club chapters that's available too. So that's the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. So I personally believe that the two should go hand in hand, collaborating with each other. So please connect with me, and not only you, but everyone that's here. If you're at a high school or if you're at a middle school that does not have a SWENext club, it's something that I believe very strongly about because of the success of what my daughter has gotten from it, how successful she's been because of the support of the Society of Women Engineers. So thank you for asking that.
Thank you.
Dr. Riggins, what classes would you recommend a high school student taking or college student taking to learn more about traumatic brain injuries?
Thank you so much. This is a great question, and I love that you're interested. I received some emails from people who are in the school still even before college and work with college students. You can just reach out and we would love to work with you. We have so many interesting research projects on traumatic brain injury. Like one of my favorite ones is learning how blue blocking glasses can help people who have headache due to traumatic brain injury. It's going on full force right now, and we're going to learn so many new things about it, and it's very exciting to learn what we can do with treatments with really very safe without side effects. And I could envision that students and from school, middle school, high school could really contribute to this research, or other ones which we have. So absolutely reach out, and we go all way together. So once someone works with us doing research or educational project, of course we will help with next steps in your career, college, and then applications to medical school. I definitely thrilled to see progress of all our mentees and happy to sponsor people. So thank you so much, that's a great question.
Also, you can look at whatever school you're planning on going to's course catalog, and there should be details on the classes. Even if it doesn't fit into your schedule, you can reach out to the professor. I know I took a traumatic brain injury class, and we had some guest speakers come where people not enrolled in the class would come in and sit in on that lecture just to hear our guest speakers as well.
This is just more of a general question. How did you work to overcome sexism in your field?
I think, like I said before, like community was the biggest thing. Before I joined, like specifically for me, what I think was the biggest thing that helps me overcome, I'm still overcoming like gender bias in engineering, is the Society of Women Engineers Club. It really, like, we have guest speakers all the time that come in and talk just about things like topics like that, helping to equip us with how we are presenting ourselves and giving authority and leadership and taking on different roles. And then we also have professionals that come in and talk to us about their journey so far as a woman in a very deaf and not super inclusive certain majors. So I would say that, like finding community and like mentorship also. Mentors can be people that are still in school, they can be out of school, just recently graduated. So that's what
You know, that's an excellent answer, Morgan. I would continue on that topic in terms of finding your community. That's the most important thing, whether it's in high school or whether it's in college. I know my daughter, I always go back to my daughter because she's in engineering and I'm not. But the most important thing when she stepped foot on her college campus last year was not knowing anyone on campus, but the moment she stepped on campus and joined the Society of Women Engineers on campus, she instantaneously found 50 friends on campus. And then when she encountered imposter syndrome, which is very common to see, sexism that's happening on campus, my daughter actually is on a full merit scholarship. And the boys in her major, she's majoring in computer science, and it's about 15% girls only. And most of them pretty much said to her, you got the scholarship because you're a female. You got the scholarship because you're a minority, you're Asian. And you know, that really chip away at her self-esteem. Sexism is real, and you have to find your community, you have to find the support. And the way that you find it is find that community, which is SWE, and not just SWE. There's other clubs on campus too, like SHIP, or like SAGE, which is the Society of Asian Science and Engineering. So there's so many clubs on campus that can support you.
Yeah, I agree. And also, I think it's important to have men in the field who you are friends with and in community with as well, because unfortunately there are some people who just are not going to listen to a woman's voice, but it's important to have those men who stand beside you and say, no, what she's saying is correct, and have it back you instead of overpowering your voice as well.
This one's getting some attention. That's a good question. I once had someone ask me, "Are you published?" And that was his way of sort of gauging, my value in the position that I was in, right? And in that moment I said, "No, are you?" And, it's just sort of flipping the tables. So what I have also honed over time, I think everyone's input here was really great, is to have a couple of one-liners ready to go. And I typically use humor and a little bit of sarcasm, a healthy dose of sarcasm, as my armor. And you keep your voice right then and there. And in doing so, you also sort of draw a boundary around, this sort of conversation and your space. So over time, someone might say something in the room or challenge you in a meeting. And maybe the first time you'll sort of walk out. And a lot of women I know are always beating themselves up about, oh, what did I say? I say the wrong thing. I should have said something else. You have to let that go, and you just have to learn from it. And so over time, just have a couple of one-liners ready to go. And they're pretty universal. And I tend to use humor and sarcasm, never unprofessional or disrespectful, but just draw the line. And so you can walk out with your head held high, know that you've sort of gut checked the person in the room who's challenging you.
So Emily, I completely agree with you also. Finding allies are very important. And with the Society of Women Engineers, there is an affinity group called He for SWE. And the TitanBot on this team actually has the He for SWE initiative. And back to what, in terms of if you're in a room, I think it's really important to have allies, right? If you're in a room and you're with the design team, and if you're a female, sometimes what you find is you give a design idea, and if you don't get confirmation or acknowledgement from others in the room, that idea gets lost. And then, a few days later, a guy might bring the same idea up, and all of a sudden it's acknowledged. And so it's important, especially all the girls here, to find allies and have them acknowledge what you're saying in the middle of a meeting, because that's just so important.
So for me, I think that in college was probably the most sexism I've experienced as an aerospace engineering degree. I guess in comparison to mechanical engineering degree, there's a lot more mechanical engineers. So let's say there's a small percentage still of women, but there's just more folks. In aerospace engineering, there were many classes that I was the only female in that class. Sometimes I get one other one in the class, so the diversity there is real. We are the minority. I've had professors make sexist statements unknowingly, and it's just they've been in the field for a long time. They're almost not used to interacting with females. So you're gonna, unfortunately, it's still like that. That's why we need more women in the field. We need to push through. We need to break that wall. We need to just flood the classrooms, and I think that would help significantly. My method of coping with it might not have been the best. I overshoot it a lot. I wanted to be the smartest person in the room, just so I can be recognized. And that can, take a toll on you because you keep pushing hard. But I will say, thankfully, once I started working at Lockheed Martin after university, I saw, strong women, like we have here at the panel, in leadership positions that are being heard and that are, I have incredible technical mentors that are women. So I'm so happy to see that the field is different than university. And so I remember when I first graduated, I was overshooting in my entry-level position. I was still overshooting. I still had that mentality that that's how I had to operate. And luckily the grass is greener on the other side, and now everything kind of steadied out, and there's some really, inspirational women in the field. But we need more. We definitely need more. We still are the minority, but because women are persevering and pushing into these key roles, significantly changing the environment.
neuroscientist and a neurologist, and how do you know what path you want to take based on what you want to do?
That's a very good question. So being a neurologist includes a lot of clinical work. So my work is very patient-centered. I live and breathe to come in clinic and bring all novel things to the patients. And my research coming from, oh, my patients need that. How can I create more help? And we're working very closely with scientists, so neuroscientists, who is more probably on research side, and maybe like one of my mentors, he has big basic lab, and they work, it's called like bench work. So maybe not seeing patients all the time, but helping patients eventually, but these great research inventions that our neuroscience has. So it's a little bit different paths, and one is more clinical oriented, and one is possibly a little bit more research oriented for neuroscience and for neurology. So both are fascinating, and beautiful part about medicine for me is that everyone can find place in medical field. So work of radiologists who looking at images, for example, of the brain, more differentiated in the way from work of surgeon or work from someone like me, who I love talk to people and listen to the patients and cannot imagine my life without that. And I feel that creating this community with people who come into the clinics and we support all this field could not be also done without researchers and neuroscience.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think neurology is a lot more clinician-based, clinic-based, versus neuroscience. We do work in labs a lot. We can see patients to get their brain scans and such, but we're not necessarily diagnosing an issue. We're just kind of seeing how their brain reacts to whatever treatments they're getting. We also do a lot more interdisciplinary things. So I've worked on data science projects, looking at neural networks. I've worked in labs that are just studying brain regions, and then a few that neuroscience and cognitive science, there's a philosophical component to it as well. So, you know, AI, how machine learning will impact us in the future. So, but yeah, they're both very important, and definitely, I think it's good to explore them both if you're interested in the brain, and just see which one you are drawn more to.
Thank you.
Both are fun.
Yeah, they're both really fun.
I have a question for Ms. Brooks. How have you, over your career, been able to marry business and STEM together?
That's a really good question. Having got my MBA at San Diego State, I tend to draw mostly from my business skills, and in particular throughout my day job, but I am steeped in a STEAM field. And so what makes it so enjoyable for me is actually that I'm on a constant learning curve on the STEAM side. So whereas, you know, my competencies or my strengths over time have really been in running a business, I am always learning from the experts around me on the technical side. And so some of the greatest things I've learned are actually, again, some of what I shared earlier. I ask for help. So it's not uncommon for me to go to the engineers or the cybersecurity analysts and to bring them into the room and just say, look, just whiteboard this for me in layman's terms, you know, just like you're talking to a psych major, just map it out for me simply. And then my job is to know how to transpose that into, you know, my role overseeing the business. So I rely on STEAM experts to bring what they do best to the table, and I marry that with, you know, what I'm asked to do in running our business. So it's totally intertwined. I think it's an important point, though, to know you never have to know the answers to all the questions. You just need to know how to work your network to find the answers to the questions. So, and I ask for help all the time. I am not shy to be humble to say I don't understand this particular technology or this particular issue. Help me understand it. I'm learning all the time, and then at the same time, that's what's made it so enjoyable for me. Is it's constantly changing. It's very dynamic. I never know what I'm going to be, talking about on any given day in the office. So it's just been fantastic in that respect.
Thank you.
This is another general question, but how has groupthink affected you positively and negatively as an engineer or as someone in the SWE community?
Can you repeat the first part of the question?
It's a general question, but how does groupthink affect you as engineers and people who work with engineers often? How does it affect you positively and negatively?
Groupthink.
Is groupthink like, you're just saying like in general, like a group? Or like, is that actually like a thing?
Like groupthink is when you have, when individual people are smart, but as you go together in a group, you're generally likely to follow one person's thought or mindset.
So just to be clear, group thinking, you mean smart individuals together as a group coming up with solutions, right? In a way?
In a way.
Okay. So in engineering, that is the law, right? You don't do it alone. Nothing is done alone, especially in aerospace. Your design on paper is never gonna go to space unless hundreds of people see it, right? In a way, so I think there's different types of people, at least in engineering. There's individuals in the groups that contribute. If you're an analyst, you're a CAD designer. And then there's individuals that understand group dynamics and they know how to bring groups together. In college, in engineering school, and probably you felt it significantly, everything's done in groups. They're conditioning you to, you have to do things individually to be a good group contributor, but ultimately, that's the engineering world. Just the same way TitanBot is here. Looks like another robotics team came in. Everything's done as a group. So the better you are working in a group, the better you are collaborating. And then in some cases, if you're good at recognizing individuals' strengths, maybe you'll be group lead, or you'll take management positions because you can recognize what individuals to bring in and how to bring the best out of people. So I don't know if I'm answering your question exactly, but you do the best, I guess, in engineering. I think the best results happen in groups, and so working well with groups, I think, is a key strength here.
So I would add, that's for sure. You're going to be working in groups the rest of your life if you haven't already started that. But the downside of groupthink is that we get lulled into sort of the status quo and the way we've always done it, right? And I've certainly been on a number of projects where perhaps someone who's got a great voice in the room is like, well, this is the way we've always done it, and let me explain to you how we're going to do it. And everyone's like, oh, okay, and we just kind of go on that way. So one of the things that I think is super fun, maybe your teams will find it fun, I don't know, is to commit some of the group's time to just ideating and brainstorming around things that haven't been done before or crazy ideas. And often you see this as like stickies on the wall, everyone gets in a room, it's like, well, let's ask a few questions of what we could do or what hasn't been done before, and just put stickies on the notes, right? That's one way of doing it. There's other ways around going around the table and just talking about different ways of doing this, or like tomorrow, ideas for tomorrow. Crazy, random, wild ideas, and probably only one or two are gonna make any sense. but there's a purpose behind it, right? And one of the purposes behind this is to ensure diverse voices in the ideation of that idea, you know, in the solution, because not everyone's comfortable speaking up in the room either, right, on the team. And so force yourselves or commit to some time that just asks silly, curious questions and ensure that everyone says something or everyone puts a sticky on that wall. It may seem goofy, feel a little bit silly, but sometimes that's where new ideas are born, right? Is in asking ourselves questions in different ways. And that's a way to sort of disrupt the downside of groupthink, which can be that we just all follow like the loudest voice in the room, or we just do it because that's the way it's always been done.
Yeah, just to add, both of them said everything really well. But I would say so far in my experience with engineering, through my internship, I would say there's both like individual and a lot of like groupthink projects that you're going to be working on. Like for my project, it was an individual project, but in the brainstorming process, I had to reach out and contact a bunch of people in like different specific parts of what I wanted to work on. Like if I needed to do someone, like if I needed to talk to someone that has an expert advice or information on like vacuum systems or different systems or like something that was correlated to what I was working on, you'll have individual projects, which is important because you'll want to contribute your ideas. Maybe you want to be like a lead, but then you'll also have a lot of group thinking and collaborators with you. And then in general, there'll also just be group projects in general that you'll be working with a bunch of people specifically.
So my understanding from your question is groupthink is more where a group of individuals have the same mindset, sometimes thinking irrationally. That's my understanding of what groupthink is. So I think what's really important in a situation like that is to have healthy dissent in ideas, and that's when innovation happens. And when you do that, again, we go back to finding the ally that's in the room with you, having support from others so that you can have the dissent in ideas. Any question?
Go ahead. So first off, I would just like to say hi. I think you guys are all very inspirational and empowering. But my question to you guys, so with all like the educational level that you guys are at now, if you had to like say one class that you really like and one class you didn't like, what would those classes like be, like in college or high school, anything like that?
Did you hear, is it one class you like, one class you didn't like in high school?
It was like any like kind of event, like middle school, high school.
Or any class? Is that the question? Go ahead.
Can you repeat the question, Molly?
I think it's just our, like a class that we liked and that we didn't like in any part of our education. I would say it's very specific to, like in college, my class that I like and don't like is very specific to my major. So it kind of depends on what you're looking at, wanting to do, and then also in high school. But I guess in high school, I'll say high school and college version because I just went through both of those, or I'm still in college, but. In high school, my favorite class was, I took physics, and I took IB physics because my school offered IB, but APs are all really amazing. For me, I really liked it. A class I didn't like, English. And then in college, so far for engineering wise, I've used a materials class the most, I think, for engineering. And maybe just like other fields that have to make something that's like tangible. I think like AutoCAD classes or materials classes were my favorite. They're the most applicable to real life, and they're information I've learned from that class I use the most. A class I didn't like. I'm not really sure, I don't know. I've not liked a lot of classes, but nothing like specific that you shouldn't take.
I think in college my favorite classes were metabolic disorders of the brain because that was essentially my major. And also just classes that I took that had nothing to do with my major. So I loved my theater class and my history classes. So I think definitely try and take some classes that you aren't necessarily thinking you're gonna enjoy a bunch. I took a management class and I loved that at my last quarter. My least favorite class was linear algebra, but I also got a concussion during that class, so that might have been why I didn't like it.
I also want to add that for me, I remember I went to, as hobby for music school. And first couple of years I was playing piano and I really just was very stubborn. I'm just doing it, I have to do it. And then my teacher changed and I loved piano. So I would just play because I loved it. I think it's something which made me probably, I hope, better teacher and better mentor, just to remember that at the center of all of that, the student. And so I'm sure that all of us, we mentors, but we also mentees. And when you see generations coming behind you, I would keep them in mind always, because you're someone who people will aspire to be. And I truly believe that all science could be wonderful and wonderful classes, but sometimes teacher makes a difference. And so I'm sure all of you will be teaching and mentoring other people around you and generations to come. So I would just keep it in mind, and I hope that when people come to the clinics and to the lectures we do, I hope they will keep this curiosity about brain and science, and that's the goal. Make people around you be interested in the subject and make the best of it. So there's so many interesting new things coming up. One of them would be AI, and sometimes I listen to one program about that and people scared of that. And then you listen to someone else and it's so many good, exciting applications which can help us. And so it's just the way you look at things. So keep positive and keep excited about what you're doing. And if you went to the class which you're not very excited about, or didn't like it, if you still like the subject and want to learn more, there is a lot of programs for students where you can exchange, go to different programs, get internships. The university offering programs for talented students, which you are in multiple disciplines. So I would just look around and reach out. Very good question, though.
So I went to UCSD and I was on a healthcare, medical school, graduate school pathway. And when you're on that pathway, a prerequisite to go to grad school, you have to take a year of calculus, a year of bio, a year of chemistry, a year of organic chemistry, and then of course your major, my major was bio, and so I had to take a bunch of bio major. So to end your question, what was that one class I did not enjoy? And I'm glad that I'm not in the engineering field, because I actually took bioengineering. And Morgan, shout out to you. You can take that class. That was one of the worst classes of my life. And then, of course, all the calculus. I did not enjoy the calculus, but thankfully, I really, really loved all the biology classes. My favorite class, opposite from you, was mammalian physiology at UCSD. Love that class. I love learning about how your body is, how the mechanism behind it, and obviously that's why I'm in the healthcare, in optometry. So
I also went to UCSD. Started off declaring political science. I thought I was going to be a lawyer like my dad. And the truth is, the first political science course that I took in the first quarter at UCSD was really hard. And I didn't do well at all. Really struggled with the content and the exams. And I panicked and didn't ask for help. I just didn't know that I could go to the TA, the teacher's assistant, or go to a mentor, or get help in studying. And so I asked myself, what sounds easier than poli-sci? That's literally what I asked myself. And I switched to psych because it sounded easier, and it wasn't, ultimately. So, what I didn't know then, which I'm offering to you, is the first year in college can be really hard, almost by design, and people don't really talk about it. And now that I know what I know, I would have probably asked for help, gotten some mentoring, and stuck with poli-sci. Not that I disregard it, I enjoyed the path that I followed, but the truth was that I just switched because I was in a panic. So poli-sci was super hard at UCSD, but if I went back today, I'm sure I'd love it. The best class I took at UCSD was a class on Beethoven's symphonies. The whole quarter we just listened to Beethoven's symphonies, and we had to memorize them, and we studied them, and we listened to them in class, and then we listened to them with the TA, and then we got quizzed on it. And it was the most unlikely subject I'd ever think I'd be taking in a college course in my life. It was the best class because it provided some of that creativity, and it created balance. And it just opened my whole world into really music that I probably would have just passed on the radio if I'd heard it truthfully. So, find something that you're curious about, may not think you're interested in, but could provide some really cool creativity and balance, and always ask for help, because you too can get through poli-sci, even though I didn't.
Are they still offering a Beethoven class? The class that I hated the most in college was for the professor. The professor was terrible. It's one of those sexist professors I mentioned earlier. So I just hated the topic. The funny thing is now, it's fluids, and the funny thing now is I'm doing cryogenic fluids, so its class is very relevant. My favorite class was with a really good professor, and I think that's what kind of dictated what I liked and I didn't like, to be completely honest with you. Was whether there was a good professor, then you got the best storyteller, you got the best lecturer, and it's the most exciting. Was vehicle stability, which I thought was a really fascinating topic. Really math heavy, and I promise you I wasn't good at math when I first got into college, but I worked hard at that and got better. And the last real math heavy class was vehicle stability, and that to me was the funnest class ever. And I'm not doing it now in my career. It's kind of unfortunate because it's so cool, but I do other stuff at it. Just, I guess it's interesting as well. So yeah, anybody else?
Unfortunately, we do have to pause here because we are going a little bit over time. However, we will be able to continue more conversations during our lunch networking portion. But thank you all so much for being here, for speaking, and being panelists. We really appreciate getting to hear from you all. Can we get a picture?
Can we move the flowers?
Yes.
Thank you so much for such an inspirational panel.
Okay, so Dr. Nguyen wants to take a selfie with the crowd, so everyone smile.
So it's actually my tradition with Dr. Mary that we always take a selfie. So if you want to go down below, I'll with everyone. So make sure you smile. So you can go. Do you want to go down here? Yeah, go down. I'll stay up here. I'll be the. Squeeze in, squeeze in. Excellent. Stand with them. Ready? squeeze in.
If everyone would like to stand up to get in the picture.
Everyone in the back stand. Okay, ready? Ready? 1, 2. All right, thank you.
So for the next portion of our conference, we're going to have robot demonstrations outside. And as a special guest today, we have another robotics team from the San Diego area helping us introduce FIRST, which stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. FIRST is a nonprofit recognized as the world's leading youth-serving organization in advancing STEM education. FIRST offers hands-on learning experiences backed up by a global community in which students discover a passion for STEAM and develop skills to become leaders of tomorrow. Joining us today, we have Team 1538, the Holy Cows, which is a robotics team at High Tech High San Diego, located in San Diego, California. Robot demonstrations will be happening in the amphitheater, located outside of the theater area. You probably already saw them coming in. We ask you to please make your way towards the exit. Please take your belongings because after we come back to lunch, we're going to be moving around. So we have some reorganizing to do. But please feel free to go outside, take pictures. We have a lot of fun outside, don't we?
We will be doing the robot demonstrations for about 20 minutes. After the 20-minute robot demonstration period, we'll be having lunch, and it will be served on the left over there with the brown bag. So after the 20 minutes is up, we will let you guys know, and we'll start having lunch. Thank you. TitanBot, spelled capital T-I-T-A-N, capital B-O-T. Again, thank you very much for joining us for this meeting.
Say it again.